And we're following that breaking news in the NBA where Doc Rivers has agreed to terms on a deal to become the next head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. That has been confirmed by our Bill Ryder. Rivers will take over at Milwaukee for Adrian Griffin, who was fired on Tuesday, with the Bucks sitting in second place in the East and at 30-13 for their record. It'll be the fifth coaching stop for the 62-year-old who was most recently with the 76ers until he was replaced by Nick Nurse this season. And let's welcome in our coach, Avery Johnson, to discuss. In Milwaukee, Adrian Griffin is out. It is Doc Rivers being named the new head coach. Avery, he is your former teammate. We talked a little bit about this yesterday when there were some rumblings that he is the front runner for this head coaching job. Your initial reaction, and how do you like the fit now that it's looking like more of a done deal?
You're right, Jacqueline. I'm not surprised because Doc Rivers was the #1 target for this job when the Milwaukee Bucks made the move to relieve Adrian Griffin of his basketball duties. So I'm not surprised. Doc Rivers, I believe, especially for a guy that's available, that he was working in the media, he's a really good fit overall for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's got a serious track record in the Eastern Conference, coaching the Boston Celtics, and also as recently coaching the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm sure, he didn't love the way things ended in Philadelphia. So I'm sure he's highly motivated to come in and take over a really good team. Not many coaches can walk into a door and take over a 30-13 team. That's kind of very unusual. But Doc Rivers is obviously somebody who they've been targeting. Moves like this, Jacqueline, doesn't start the day before. This probably was in the works 3 or 4 weeks ago, but now we just found out as of today. But this is something that's probably been going on behind the scenes for quite a while.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off of that, we were talking about him potentially, having an advisory role with the team before this, and now he is the head coach. Is that normally the process, or how weird is that in your opinion?
I think it is a little bit weird, the timing of this, that if he's working as an advisor behind the scenes and have access to the players, and now, taking over as a coach. But it's the NBA. No babies allowed. I'm not surprised. Nothing. Hey, I got fired after being coach of the month in November, and I got fired in December. So I've been in Adrian Griffin's shoes before, but the ownership, now they're paying 2 coaches. They're paying Mike Budenholzer. They're paying Adrian Griffin. And now they're going to be paying Doc Rivers. Somebody in the front office better get this one right.
And Avery, yesterday when the Adrian Griffin news came down, there was a sense that, hey, maybe this is a player's firing and not necessarily an organization firing Adrian Griffin. How do you like the fit with Doc Rivers and the superstars that they have on that team, and Giannis and Dame?
Yeah, I agree. This is not no organizational firing. This is about Damian Lillard, who wasn't a part of the team when they hired Adrian Griffin. But this is also about Giannis. You can look at Terry Stotts, a lifelong NBA coach, quit in October after having a confrontation supposedly in shoot-around. And now you have the head coach getting fired. So there must have been an upheaval behind the scenes. But yes, this is about the 2 guys that's on the screen, Damian Lillard and Giannis. I'm sure that they were advised of this move, not only the firing of Adrian Griffin, but the hiring of Doc Rivers. These guys had to sign off on it. And for them to get in front of the media and say this was a surprise, they didn't know what was going on, I would be shocked, because I can't believe that that's true.
And of course, they brought Dame on, pairing with Giannis to win another championship. That's what they want. They're second in the East, 30-13. You mentioned their successful record that they've had so far. Of course, Doc Rivers, he has that playoff experience, but there is the conversation with him blowing 3-1 leads in the past. Is that, do you think about that at all? Does that worry you as we're looking at this Bucks team that's trying to win it all?
That's kind of glass half full, glass half empty. Doc Rivers, to get a 3-1 lead you're good enough as a coach to get there. But at the same time, they haven't finished some of those series off. It can come down to missed free throws, turnovers is part of the game. You need players to make plays at the end of the game. I went to the finals and lost in 2006. And then the Mavericks went back a couple of years later and won in 2011. And some of the things that went wrong in 2006, it didn't go wrong in 2011. So you need players to make plays. They got to make free throws, hand blow defensive assignments. The best players have to play on the big stage. And I'm sure if Doc Rivers get a 3-1 lead in the series with the Milwaukee Bucks, it's going to be up to Damian Lillard and Giannis to make sure that they finish off that series, unlike what James Harden did when he was with Philadelphia and Doc Rivers coaching the team.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure that Dame and Giannis aren't walking in the velvet suit. That's got some bad juju there. Avery Johnson joining us here on HQ as we're breaking down that latest breaking news. Doc Rivers is the new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. You're taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings right now. The Bucks, they are second in the East, only behind the Celtics, sitting at 30-13. The odds makers, they have them at plus 210 to win the East. Doc Rivers, he is the new head coach there in Milwaukee.